welcome back to Sports Night in Auburn. I'm Mackenzie Collins.
And I'm Brendan McLaughlin. Tonight, we have details on changes to Auburn's football schedule, the team's COVID updates, a look at how baseball is wrapping up fall practice, and a recap of soccer's last two games. Auburn's game against Mississippi State, scheduled for this weekend, has been postponed due to positive COVID-19 test and subsequent quarantining of individuals within Mississippi State's program. The decision to postpone the match aligns with the SEC COVID-19 management requirements put into place at the beginning of the season. For more information on these requirements developed by the SEC's Return to Activity and Medical Guidance Task Force, visit secsports.com. The Tigers game versus the Bulldogs is tentatively rescheduled for December 12th, with more information to be released at a later date.
While the game this weekend is canceled due to COVID tests in the Mississippi State program, Auburn is having COVID issues of their own. Head coach Gus Malzahn announced on Tuesday that Auburn has its first positive test in 7 weeks, and he believes it comes from the team getting out of their strict routine during the bye week. The team has paused all workouts and practices until further notice.
Okay, yesterday we found out that we'd not be playing this Saturday versus Mississippi State because they didn't have enough scholarship guys to play. We've had our own issues that started since our off week. As far as COVID's concerned, we've had 9 players test positive, 3 staff members test positive. We're pausing our workouts currently right now and practice until we get this thing under control, and we're testing every day to get this thing under control. You know, the unique thing about it is we had 7 straight weeks where we had 0 positive, so our guys did a really good job, but we'll get this thing under control and get prepared to play our next game. So, you know, it really hadn't been one event. Of course, you know, we had an off week, okay, and I think you can see around the league that, you know, anytime you get out of your routine, you know, that's what you're finding. But there's not one single thing or single person or anything like that. I just think it's, you know, getting out of the routine. Yeah, I mean, close contacts are 14 days, so that's the way it is.
On Tuesday, Malzahn also spoke about how the bye week helped the team recover from the injuries that the team got in the LSU game. Malzahn said the cancellation allows players who probably would have not been healthy enough to play spend another week preparing for Tennessee. Malzahn said this week is about adjusting and using the 2 weeks off to get their timing back.
Last week was really good, and we had a very, very solid week of getting our guys developed, the young guys. We put the ball down, we scrimmaged some. So it was really good, and you know, one positive is, you know, our main guys are getting a little bit healthier. We were fairly beat up after that last game, so we are getting our older guys, you know, that were a little beat up. We're getting them healthier and to be fresh for the last 4 games. Yeah, there's no doubt that was one thing. You know, Shedrick Jackson, Jamie Sherwood, those guys, and there's a handful of other guys too that if you look at it as a positive, you know, like, gives them another week to heal up, because I don't know if Sherwood would have been available this week or not. I mean, he would have tried. He's a tough guy, but you know, that's the positive, to get some of these guys you know, healed up. Like I said, you know, I was real proud of our team that we continued to get better and better. We played our last game. We played our best game, had a lot of momentum, and we had an off week, which came at a good time. And then we found out that, hey, we're not going to play another one, but we just got to adjust, and so that's what we're doing as coaches and players, and that's really our mindset. You know, having 2 weeks off, I mean, there's no doubt you worry about timing and all that, but I really believe, you know, last week the 3 practices we had were very efficient. They were very clean, and so hopefully we can get back, you know, fairly soon this week and get that timing back. But I don't look at it as a negative. I mean, our guys they'll be ready to go.
The Tigers will be back in action Saturday, November 21st in Jordan-Hare Stadium against the Tennessee Volunteers. Kickoff for the game is scheduled for 6 p.m. and coverage can be found on ESPN. After that matchup, the Tigers travel to Tuscaloosa for the Iron Bowl. The Tigers are coming off a big 2019 Iron Bowl win and are hoping to keep the winning streak going as they take on Alabama in Bryant-Denny Stadium Saturday, November 28th. Kickoff for that game will be announced at a later date. Auburn will then return home for a December home game, something that is very unusual for the Tigers. They will take on Texas A&M in Jordan-Hare Saturday, December 5th. Game details will be announced at a later date. Auburn then wraps up its regular season with a rescheduled Mississippi State matchup on Saturday, December 12th.
When we come back, we'll take a look at what else is happening in Auburn athletics, including baseball, soccer, basketball, and volleyball. Keep it right here watching Sports Night in Auburn. Auburn baseball is set to end their fall practice run with the Fall World Series. The annual Orange and Blue World Series will begin on November 12th. The series will be a best-of-5 concluding on November 19th. The Tigers held their draft for the series Monday night, and while it looked different, the team is excited they get to continue the tradition of the Fall World Series. The series kicks off Thursday afternoon at 4:15. All games will be 6 innings and will be streamed on Facebook live from the Auburn Baseball Facebook.
The Tigers came up short in this year's Iron Bowl of soccer, falling to the Crimson Tide 1-0 Friday night in the Auburn Soccer Complex. The Tigers had their chances with 12 shots in the contest, including one that hit the far post, but failed to find the back of the net for the first time this season. Head coach Karen Hoppe said, "The rivalry games are always a little bit crazy. We were obviously disappointed in the result because we let in a soft goal and had our chances to capitalize. We need to learn from this and be ready to rebound Monday." The Crimson Tide got on the scoreboard with a goal from Felicia Knox that snuck through the hands of Maddie Prohaska late in the first half.
Auburn women's soccer was back in action against Alabama for this year's Iron Bowl at home last Friday. There was a great turnout and a very vocal Auburn student section to cheer on the Tigers. Auburn was ranked number 15 but fell to unranked Alabama after a very intense rivalry game. The Crimson Tide improved 2-4-2 on the season, while the Tigers dropped 3-2 in the regular fall season finale. Alabama's goalkeeper McKinley Crone and the Crimson Tide defense suffocated the Tigers' offense and held its opponent scoreless, posting its first shutout of the season. Felicia Knox provided the only offense of the contest in the first half when she laced a shot from Riley Mattingly in the 36th minute to give Alabama a 1-0 advantage. The goal was the second of the rookie forward's career. Despite leading the Tigers by a lone goal margin at halftime, Auburn outshot Alabama 12-7 in the match. Auburn walked away with only 5 fouls while Alabama had 13. With this win, Alabama secured its first victory at Auburn since 1998.
18 players saw action in the contest for Auburn, including 5 who played all 90 minutes.
Despite a tough loss on the road as the number 15 Auburn women's soccer team put up a strong fight defensively against the number 3 Texas A&M this past Monday. Auburn fell 2-0 to the Aggies, but were able to hold the Aggies scoreless for 2/3 of the game until the 68th minute of the game when they had finally scored their first goal. Auburn head coach Karen Hoppe said, "A&M is a great team, one of the best teams in the country, but I thought our team was outstanding in our game plan. Our defense was terrific. Maddie Prohaska's response from Friday was outstanding, and we've had chances. We just got to get better when we get those opportunities." Texas A&M currently stands as the highest scoring women's soccer team in the SEC. Auburn had a few missed opportunities in the opening minutes of the second half of the game. The 2 attempts were missed as they were outside the reach of junior midfielder Haley Whitaker. This contest had marked the second game on the road against a top 10 team for the Tigers, as well as the 4th game within the span of 11 days to round up this regular season schedule. The Tigers wrapped up their fall regular season Monday and entered this week's SEC tournament as a number 8 seed, set to take on number 9 Georgia Sunday at 5 p.m. Central Time in Orange Beach.
Senior Alyssa Melanson has been named Top Georgia Soccer Team of the Week honorable mention following a strong pair of performances last week. This honor is the second time Melanson has been recognized by the Top Georgia Soccer in her career. She's also the 4th Auburn player to earn the distinction from the publication this season. Coming off a goal-scoring effort at Arkansas 2 weeks ago, Melanson assisted on the game-winning goal at LSU that earned Auburn a first-round bye in this week's SEC tournament. The win also marked the Tigers' 300th win in program history. Melanson, who also played a role in the team's 3rd shutout of the season, won a ball in the midfield and made a burst up the left flank before crossing to Corey Loxley, who finished in front of the frame.
The Auburn Tigers men's basketball team agreed to a home-and-home series against UCF. The first matchup is set to take place during the 2020-21 season. This series will kick off in Orlando, Florida, where the Tigers will take on the UCF Knights on November 30th, 2020 at Addition Financial Arena. The teams will meet again in Auburn Arena during the 2021-22 season. Details will be announced at a later date. Auburn leads the series between the two teams 4-1, including winning all 3 matchups in Orlando. The Tigers are 59-40 against members of the American Athletic Conference. Auburn's SEC matchups for the season have been scheduled, but the remainder of Auburn's 2021 schedule will be announced at a later date.
In the world of women's basketball, sophomore Elena Rice is immediately eligible by the NCAA and will play for Auburn women's basketball in the 2020-21 season. Transferring to Auburn from Florida A&M during the offseason, Rice was a freshman for the Rattlers during the 2019-20 season. Playing in all 27 games for Florida A&M, she scored in double figures 17 times and averaged 10.3 points, 4.7 rebounds, and 2.4 assists per game. The 5'8" guard from Rockledge, Florida, was named the Mid-Eastern Athletic Conference's Rookie of the Year. Rice and 9 other newcomers are joining 5 returners from the 2019-20 season. West Virginia transfer Jayla Jordan and Baylor transfer Honesty Scott Grayson both sat out last season. Rice, along with Jordan and Scott Grayson, give the Tigers 8 players with previous Division I playing experience. The Tigers' first game of the season is November 23rd.
Auburn volleyball wrapped up its fall road slate, falling with number 2 Kentucky in straight sets inside Memorial Coliseum Sunday afternoon. The 2 losses moves Auburn to 0-6 on the season. The Tiger offense was evenly spread as 4 Tigers recorded 6 kills each. Audrey Douglas was the most efficient of Auburn's hitters with a career-high 6 kills on 11 attempts. Jaden Brown found her groove, setting a season high with 6 kills. Tatum Shipes and senior Lauren Dorrell also tallied 6 kills each. Defensively, the Tigers totaled 4 blocks, with McClellan and Brown each credited with 2. Auburn will return to the court on Wednesday, November 18th against Tennessee at 7 p.m. Central Time on the SEC Network. The season finale against the Lady Volunteers is set for Thursday, November 19th at 5 p.m. Central Time.
When we come back, we will take a look at how Auburn is performing in the NFL after Week 9 of play.
Derrick Brown, who made his 9th straight start for the Panthers on Sunday, tied his career high with 5 tackles against his Kansas City Chiefs. The rookie defensive lineman played a major role in limiting the Chiefs to just 30 yards on the ground. He also added a quarterback hit. In his first NFL season, Brown now has accumulated 23 tackles and 6 tackles for loss. He's second among the rookies with 13 quarterback pressures. Cam Newton led the Patriots to a 4th quarter comeback and Monday night's 30-27 win against the Jets. He completed 27 of 35 passes for 274 yards, including a 20-yard pass to Jacoby Myers in the closing seconds to set up the game-winning field goal. Cam also scored 2 rushing touchdowns on the night to give him 66 for his career, which moves him past Stephen Davis for the most rushing touchdowns by a former Auburn player in the NFL all time.
Kicker Daniel Carlson was perfect in Sunday's victory over the Los Angeles Chargers as he went 4-4 on extra points and proved once again he is an asset to the Raiders. He made a 31-yard field goal in the final minutes to extend the lead and help secure the win. The former 5th-round pick is now 23 of 24 on PATs and 17 of 19 on field goal attempts this season. A week after scoring a touchdown, Kerryon Johnson made most of his 25 snaps on offense with 4 carries for 29 yards and a season-high 3 catches for 36 yards in Sunday's loss to the Minnesota Vikings. Johnson averaged 9.3 yards per touch and finished with a Pro Football Focus grade of 68.4. On the season, his pass blocking grade of 90.4 is tops among all NFL running backs.
That's all for Sports Night in Auburn, but for more Auburn sports, head to our website, eagleeyeauburn.com, where we'll have everything you need to know to stay up to date on Auburn sports. I'm Mackenzie Collins.
And I'm Brendan McLaughlin. For even more sports, follow our Twitter at EETV_sports and follow our Instagram at EagleEyeTV. Good night and War Eagle.